Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker with a tea that I don't get to review often enough. Just don't get that many to try out. Although it is one that more people I would think should have on their list of teas to try. This is you're going to notice a unique leaf, larger leaves, and I'm going to have to. I kind of hesitate to do it, but I'm breaking these so that they'll fit into the guy one a little easier here. That looks good. I have to break that one in half. I'll talk about these dry leaves in just a moment. Let me squeeze a few more in here. Those aren't going to sit, so I have to break those. Lovely leaves. I mean, there's a lot of artistry just in the dry leaf itself. I like it strong. I want more. I'm going to toss in a wee bit more. You know, generally I try to cover the bottom 1.5 inch diameter of my gaiwan. That's not as easy to judge with these larger leaves. My water's been brought to an early boil. Been allowed to cool for a while. It's still got plenty of heat to it. A few seconds is all it's really been cooling, so it's still got plenty of heat trapped in there. Just a splash more water. That looks good. Now, with this kind of tea, this particular tea, this is a Chinese green tea. I'll just go ahead and start talking about it, and it's called TaiPingHouKui. And you can also do this with a different approach. You can get a tall glass and drop the leaves down in, add the water first, then drop the leaves in, kind of thing. But for the sake of consistency, I'm going to stick with this way for now. This is, like I said, from GrandTea. This is a TaiPingHouKui. You can get 25 grams from GrandTea.com. 25 grams for $6. It is from there's a little dot on Google Maps, for example, if you look there, Houkeng, which is a little village or community in Anhui province in China. It's in the Huangshan, or the Yellow Mountain district or area there. So that's a place to start looking if you want to look for more. And not a lot of information about the harvest of this tea, except to say that it's a 2012. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about this tea, the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor. My lid is kind of rattling around with the heat of the air, the steam getting trapped inside underneath there. Nice fresh aromas, floral aromas coming off here, and this is a pea flower type of smell. So there's, think of white, almost in that area of honeysuckle. There's that kind of sweetness coming off there. It's a little bit deeper, a bit woodier. It's English laurel. There's a bit of that component there. Pulling out a few of these leaves, what you see is leaves that, because of their processing, they are pressed flat, and there's often involved some either paper or cloth, and you can actually see the threads of that cloth indented into these leaves. So you can see the actual fibers running across these leaves. And so these leaves, as you see, 2 or 3 inches in length, paper thin. You can almost hold them up to the light and see through them. They're that thin on some of these, especially some of the thinner stem parts down here on the bottom. A lot of times this may be more than one leaf pressed together. So you do have some darker green-blue type colors there as well. So nice colors, nice leaf to admire, to look at. So going from that now to the liquor, the wet leaf and the liquor rather. I'm going to get ready to pour here. And I want to make sure to catch all my wet leaf inside the gaiwan there. So I'm going to pour carefully. It doesn't pour smoothly when you make a smaller opening sometimes. Shaking out those last few drops there. That's going to get most of it. Let that set to the side for a minute. Actually get that just off a little bit more. Shake these and kind of smell here. First thing that hits, beany type notes, boiled green bean, light lima bean type smells. A bit, there's more of a florals with spice type of note coming off there on the inside of the lid. The lighter characteristics often settle there. So you still get some of that English floral, but it's with a little bit of, I mean, my knee-jerk reaction was something more like thyme, something kind of like a light spice type note. Let me pull out, still the green bean coming off the leaves themselves. And again, it's getting a little bit more towards that sweet pea flower smell now. So there's a bit of greenness coming out too. So the pea aspect coming out too with the flower. The leaves have gotten very soft, supple. Let me pull out one of these here that's stuck to the side. Darker, richer, greener one there. It hasn't fully unfurled. It's not fully. It's not that supple as far as being able to peel it open and really look at this leaf. But you can see it's still fairly tender, fairly delicate, easily torn. The colors have gotten a little bit brighter green and greenish yellow, as opposed to that kind of darker green blue we saw on the dry leaf. Don't see a lot of orange tinges like oxidation took place, so that's a positive. That meant that the flavor and the components here are fairly consistent. Not a lot of oxidation that may have affected the taste. Light, sweet, again, pea flower, sweet pea flower smells coming off here. A little more floral than anything else. If you look at that color, it's a light yellow. It's a pale, rather pale yellow. Let's give it a taste now. I mean, looking down in the cup, still fairly clear. TaiPingHouKui is a fairly delicate tea. There's not a lot of, it's not going to be rich, bold, heavy, strong components there. What you are going to get is nuance. I get, off-camera tastings, I get more nuance when I use a lighter temperature or a shorter steeping time that makes it gentler. And when that happens, the liquor actually moves a little bit more towards a lighter, greener color rather than a yellower color. The longer you steep, the more yellowish it can turn. Again, broth texture, light, very thin. That's common. I mean, some TaiPingHouKuis will get stronger in that aspect. TaiPingHouKuis generally will stay in a greener with a bit of a more orchid type component, floral component in the taste or the aroma here. This one has a little less of that. It, like I said, it lighter and shorter, lighter steepings that came out more so than in the heavier, deeper steepings rather. Aftertaste, again, subtle. A gentle kind of green vegetable type sweetness, having eaten maybe a fresh piece of celery, maybe a snow pea type of, a little bit of sweetness there. Not that strong. Duration, so-so. So looking at this tea, it sounds like this tea doesn't have a lot of things going for it, but a nice TaiPingHouKui has a lot of gentle, delicate, subtle elements that really just kind of push you and challenge you and wake you up to things that you may not have tasted before. It really calls you to slow down, pay attention to it, and see what's there. This one in particular, I would give this one a 90. It's got some of those components. Like I said, off-camera steepings, lighter temperature or shorter steepings had more of those components than here. Okay, one more. As this cools, it does the components do tend to stand out more. More so coming out a little bit more now. So come back to Walker Tea Review to find the balance of the right temperature, the right steep times, the right teas that are going to fit what you're looking for.